Take two. In more ways than one. So we just had a P3D crash on our way from Jackson to Portland. So we are attempting a flight here in the King Air 200 for a second time. We are trying to, we shook it up a little bit though. We want to do a different route. No need to retrace that route. Plus Seattle Center went offline. So we are actually down here in Angwin-Parrett, which is an airfield we tried to land in the other day and had a really funky scenery error. And so it's a take two for the airfield as well. And I want you to be able to see this absolutely amazing, awesome little airstrip here. It is so cool. I love it. Turbulent designs. It's freeware and has a bunch of, it's going to be hard for me to taxi out here. I got to find a way around either this way or clear out around this dang King Air in the way, but it's just super cool. It doesn't have a taxiway really. You just kind of taxi out here to the runway and rock and roll. Off you go. Either runway 34, you have to come down here and make a little turnaround and come back and fly over the airfield itself, the airport itself. But I love it. It's awesome. Down there somewhere is Pope Valley. Actually, maybe it's over there. I don't know, but Pope Valley comes with it as well. So anyway, so it's a take two. It's a second chance at both the flight today and this scenery. So let's see what's happening here. We are going to have to tune in, get a new clearance and all that fun stuff, but we can do that. That's not a huge deal. We'll see, I guess. 132.2. We have filed a new route. We'll see what the actually, I have not filed that flight plan just yet. Let me file it.
Heavy, turn left 110.
Left 110, Arcana 66 heavy.
Kind of a bummer, but again, it's sometimes these things happen. And so you could call it a night, or you could just give it another try. And we're going to just give it another try. I was curious about seeing if the scenery fix.
Off in the next 15 minutes.
Oh, offline in the next 15 minutes, or going to be offline for the next few minutes. That'd be a bummer. So I'm gonna reach out to him. I don't know what he said, if he was going to be offline or is offline or going to be away.
And Southwest 3746 is clear of runway 30. Southwest 3746, roger. Contact ground 121.75. Alright, 2175 for Southwest 3746. Thanks for the help. Delta 1391, descend and maintain 5,000. 5,000, 1391. At a 66 heavy, turn left heading 010.
Left 010, Arcana 66 heavy.
I think I may have filed an incorrect altitude here. I've actually got. I have a low altitude airway that I'm planning, and I think I've filed 280. So I'm going to change that real quick before I request.
1542 local center. Good evening. Maintain flight level 350.
What do I need to have here? I think I'll just change it from 280 to
wind 180 at 12.
180.
Left.
So this is most definitely an uncontrolled airfield, and so I could theoretically depart, but I want to get my clearance.
766 runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha Foxtrot. Cross runway 1 left.
Actually, I think what I will do is I'll depart VFR and then pick up. No, I've already filed an IFR flight plan, so I need to get that in first. Let me see if I can get a word in edgewise here. Oakland Center, King Air 252, Juliet Romeo on the ground, Angwin-Parrett.
Air Canada 66, 10 miles from Hemet, turn left heading 310. Maintain 3000 until established on localizer. Clear ILS runway 28 left approach.
Level 310 to the localizer, maintain Arcana 3000, Arcana 66 Heavy.
Delta 1391, the indicated airspeed.
That'd be tough to get through here. If I was smart, I would have departed VFR, and then I could have picked up my IFR clearance
Air Canada
onwards.
66, traffic 12 to 1 o'clock, 7 miles.
But
To the westbound, level at
was not
6,107.37.
thinking
Port of Insight.
Arcana 66 Heavy, in flight, about 6 miles off the
RBB
nose.
Red
Thank you.
Bluff, is that Red Bluff? Robbinsville, no,
Air Canada
RBL,
66, Roger.
RBL,
He's going to be for the parallel.
backspace RBL, Red Bluff.
Okay, for 28, east for 28 right, understood.
Delta 1391.
We're going to grab a
Temperature
Victor
square water
Airway
is at
here
2 o'clock,
if we're
17
clear to
miles.
it.
Report Insight. Turn right heading 280.
A little bit dangerous to do this because
we have the field in sight for 13.
even though this, I've had this route
Delta
cleared
1391, additional traffic is at
in
your
the
9 o'clock.
past, it
3
does
miles
not mean necessarily I'm going to have it
westbound, descending at 3,800, a heavy
approved tonight.
787, report him inside.
There we go.
Traffic for
Klamath
31.
Falls.
Delta 1391, there's a separation with that traffic. Clear visual approach, runway 28 right.
And
Alright, clear for the visual 28 right, 1391. Korean 023, radar contact. Correction, turn the right heading 140, descend to maintain 4000.
rats.
United 1850 is radar contact. Climb maintained by level 350.
We wanted,
Alpha level 35.
I wanted the Ocean City 2
United
arrival.
001, runway 28 left.
We're going to be going, by the way, from Angwin-Parrett up to
That's
Troutdale
001.
this time instead of all the way into Portland. I really wanted that. I could do the Helen 6. No, I can't. That's the wrong way. O City 2. Yeah, I don't have that anymore. Rats. Oakland Center 252, Juliet Romeo.
November 252, Julia Romeo, home center.
Yes, sir. We're on the ground, Angwin-Parrett. With the weather, we'd like to request IFR clearance to Troutdale.
November 252, Julia Romeo, Oakland Center. I'm going to be logging off momentarily. My apologies. March, you're going to come on 122.8. Good night.
Okay, not a problem. We'll catch you next time. 252 Juliet Romeo. All right, so that's that answers that question. We are indeed going to depart
United 1542.
essentially
Logging off radar service.
VFR,
Change your crew. Good night.
but what that will allow us to do is change or look at that arrival as we're going. It's a 2-hour flight.
United 1850, traffic 12 o'clock. 10 miles same direction. Climbing out of 13,500.
Let's see. I gotta back up here. I need to make sure I don't miss anything here. So we have a taxi.
1391.
Let's see.
Land 18012, runway 28 right, clear land.
Barrow said I'm gonna cheat on that.
Quick land 28 right.
The CDI is GPS, which is good.
Canada 66.
We're gonna go ahead and since we are non-controlled, we're gonna just climb right on, rock right on up to 280, as Sammy Hagar would say.
Korean 023, heavy turn
No,
left heading
180, that's what our file altitude
and then
was.
maintain 4,000.
Let's not get too crazy here.
110.
Frequency is set. No,
That
it's
is
not.
001, radar contact.
We're gonna monitor
Maintain level
Unicom.
370.
2280.
370, United 1.
And I don't know how far we'll make it. It's been one of those nights. We may get airborne and P3D may lock up on us again, but if that happens, so be it. Okay, taxi light on, nav already on, recog on, beacon strobe on, pitot heat on. We did run into some icing on our departure, so that was interesting. Okay, brake is in. Let's see if we have the finesse to make it around our King Air brother here and head on out. Winds are calm right now, which is cool. Oh, that's in Portland, darn it. What about where we're at? 160 at 1. So we actually are going to have to taxi all the way down to the other end of the runway and turn around, which I don't mind. I think the departure north, which is where we would initially be off of runway 34, I think that's a little bit of a cooler departure in terms of terrain, because you kind of like open up into this big valley, the Pope Valley, and it looks pretty awesome. But this one's not too bad either, because like I say, you're flying right over the airport, and that's kind of fun. Okay, we're working our way around here. We're not going to scratch the paint. Man, when we were at Jackson, we were worried about scratching the paint on a Citation, and now we're worried about scratching the paint on another King Air. Got down here just about the right time too. If it would get any darker, you wouldn't really be able to see the kind of what this airplane or this airport is all about. Which, like I say, it's a cool little airport. Guys at Turbulent Designs did a really nice job, I think. I don't know if I'll be able to taxi and do the cinematic view or not, but you know, a little bit of volumetric grass. The taxiways look good. There's some, you know, some scuffing, some black marks, tire marks. The paint is pretty crisp, but also at the same time a little bit worn. And I mean, you know, it's just got a little of that. I like the elevation, the Angwin-Parrett writing. I think that looks pretty dang cool. So just, if nothing else, you get a peek at this Turbulent Design airfield and what it's really supposed to look like, not what it looked like the last time I flew in here, which I think honestly was only 2 weekends ago, two Friday night ops ago, and we had, like I say, a major scenery glitch. It was essentially there was a default layer on top of this layer, and then there was a second add-on layer that was underneath this layer, and so it was like a triple decker scenery, and anyway, yeah, it didn't make for a very pleasant landing, because we thought you tried to get it lined up for the top layer, which is the one that you saw initially, and you know, kind of flared it out and was halfway close, and then as soon as we hit what we thought was ground level, we just kept going down, and then we saw the add-on scenery, and we're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and well, we'll just try to land on that. And it was, you know, like about 10 feet below, and and then the same thing happened with that add-on layer. By the time we finally did reach the bottom, I guess it was just a huge kind of a crash of a landing, set it down hard, and then of course we taxied in, and everything just looked all kinds of funky. I mean, everything was up on this 20-foot high ledge, and yeah, so it was, like I say, it was just a bad deal all the way around. So it's nice that we have a chance to come back here and make it right, basically. Okay, so let's pre-flight stuff here. We need to, Let's get the park and brake back on. We're going to make sure the bleed airs, they are still open. We don't have any annunciators telling us that they're not. What do we have cabin pressure? I think, again, just a nice comfortable 6,000 I think will probably work. We're not going super high in this flight, so that should be just fine. Rudder boost can come on. The auto feather will come on. The auto ignitions are going to come on. Flaps are going to go to approach. Trim, we're going to spin it up just a little bit here. And we have to do that funky little flight director step. Turn the autopilot on, turn the yaw damper off, hit the go around button, and there it goes. It puts us in our proper climb out attitude. Zoom is at a pretty good range, honestly, but what are we going to be? What is our... Oh, sorry about that, guys. Ooh, ragweed season. Just take a peek really quickly here. I'll show you guys what the plan is now. The revised plan, here we are, Angwin, so 350 roughly is going to be our departure. We're heading to Red Bluff, essentially. We're not, we're still flying this slant Lima, but initially we're going to have to track and kind of head in the right direction. So 350 will have to be coming around. I don't know what I'm assuming. Well, you know what, we'll just make left traffic here, and I know we'll head out over the valley, and there's not any major population areas over there that we'd have to worry about, for anything like noise abatement or anything like that. Okay, timer, let's go ahead, we'll start that. Again, we're looking for about 95 for the takeoff, somewhere in there. Whoops, ident, I don't need to do that. We are squawking VFR as for now, and okay, oops, landing lights can come on. We're ready, Eddie. Park and brake off. Spooler up. We'll need every inch of this runway. As you saw, it's a pretty small, I don't even think it's quite 2,000 foot. So right on the edge of the limits of this plane for sure. I'm trying to get her lined up here. Got some runway lights on, or some poppy lights anyway. I think it does have a little bit of kind of light edge lighting. I don't know what they called that. Low intensity, I think, is what they call that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make a little call here on Unicom. Angwin traffic. Departing runway 18. VFR northwest bound. Sorry, yeah, northeast. Okay, so taking off heading south, we are going to make a left-hand traffic pattern, left crosswind departure on our way up to Red Bluff. Should be fun. Oh boy, I'm kind of zigging and zagging here. What's going on? Don't have a lot of room on this runway for that. Overcorrecting is what I'm doing. There we go. There's 80. Coming up on 90. There's rotation speed. Ooh boy. A little bit abrupt there. Alright, positive rate. Gears up. Over torquing. Bring the power back slightly. Climbing out nicely. There's our little airport. Thanks, buddy. See you later. Okay, flaps coming up. Gaining some airspeed. Getting a little below our climb pitch, so let's bring that nose up a little bit. We'll start that left-hand turn out over the, like I say, I think this is the Pope Valley. Not 100% sure. With any luck, we'll be able to see that little airport that's down there as well. Maybe not. It actually might be off to our north, our right there a little bit. Sorry, our west. Climbing, climbing, climbing. We want about 1800. That's optimal. We are going to go ahead and pull back on the prop RPM. We need that at about 1800. And we'll bump up the turbine RPM, the torque there, to 91%. So two things, I guess. Number one, if you're finding this channel for the first time, wondering what the heck is going on, we're flying from Angwin-Parrett, which is near Oakland in the NorCal area. Unfortunately, Oakland Center had to log off, but we're flying to Troutdale, which is just to the east of Portland, and it's all part of the Northwest Light Up event, or Light Up Northwest event. Portland is doing their air traffic association is doing a big meetup in the Portland area, a live meetup, and they're providing ATC. They actually had an event yesterday, a Friday Night Ops event, and then they're doing another one tonight. So we're gonna head up there. It's one of our favorite playgrounds. But that's the plan. We did initially try to fly a little earlier from Jackson Hole, Wyoming to Portland, and that didn't work out so well. We actually had a sim crash, and so that was a bummer. But we're staying persistent. We're going to try to see it through, and I'm going to try to intercept this outbound heading here and get ourselves heading towards Red Bluff. If you tuned in earlier, I know one of our friends, Downwind Sim, tuned in earlier, and probably wondering, what the heck, where are you? Well, that's why. It was the sim crash. We had to come up with a plan B. So we're in Northern California, heading up, not really up the coast, but heading up north through the beautiful NorCal and Pacific Northwest sceneries here in the King Air. If you're brand spanking new to this channel, which is not surprising, I'm new, and what goes on here for the most part is really, well, variety, number one, and but number two, generally speaking, really I enjoy finding events with really good air traffic. So I bounce here and there, and I look for these big events. They're a lot of fun. But the other thing about this channel, it's sort of defining itself a little bit, but I'm a big fan of the vintage birds. I am collecting more and more as the months go by, and loving them more and more. So any chance I get to hop in the DC-3 or the DC-8, I will do that. I'm also dabbling a little bit in some of the guess it really wouldn't be a vintage warbird because it's still, well, the DC-3 either, but C-130 is a plane I'm trying to learn as well. And I really want to get my hands on some kind of a tri-jet, like maybe an MD 11 or a Lockheed 1011, something like that. The Lockheed obviously would sort of fit that bill as far as a vintage aircraft goes. All right, I'm having some issues here. No, I'm doing good. I haven't quite intercepted. But anyway, I like the vintage birds. I also like, one thing I really like is kind of backcountry flying. And so I've got a de Havilland Beaver that is my favorite backcountry aircraft, and actually plan on being up in this area next Saturday. Actually, a little bit north of here, in the Alaska area. There's 10,000 feet. Landing lights, taxi lights off, auto ignition off, feather off. But I do plenty of sort of bush flying and off airport stuff around here. There's some really neat little private strips and a lot of fun. There's some good float plane action around here as well, and I just kind of lump all that into sort of that backcountry or off airport or bush flying. But yeah, I enjoy doing that as well. Now that's not to say that I won't hop in some more modern aircraft. I mean, here we are, we're in the King Air. It's a 200, so it's a little bit of an older bird, but obviously has the modern avionics, and so you really can't, I don't think, consider it a vintage aircraft. Look at that sunset. Have a good look at that. Yeah, not bad. Another somewhat older aircraft that I enjoy flying is the Duke 60, but again, it's not going to be lumped into your vintage aircraft category. And at least weekly I'll break out the PMDG 737, still one of my all-time favorite planes to fly. And so anyway, you can check out, I've got a few different aircraft in my hangar, and like I said, variety probably is the word that describes this channel the best. I don't mind bouncing back and forth between super complicated systems management like in the DC-8, and then on the next flight, being something really basic as far as systems goes, but just helps you get out and fly for the sake of flying. And if I know 8AA is working on a Carbon Cub or some version of the Cub, and I'll probably buy that, and that's about as basic as it gets. I mean, but sometimes it's nice to be able to hop right in and take off. Sometimes it's fun to spend an hour and a half planning and aligning things and making sure systems are up and running and fuel is loaded correctly and just all those things too. So we go back and forth here, but the main thing is it's fun to do it with people checking in and helping out. I benefit a ton from other people that hop in and point things out. I am not a pilot, so I appreciate learning about these aircraft that I'm simulating, and it's all about, I think most of us are attempting to create a realistic experience and trying to do things as by the book as you can. So let's see, we are rolling here almost to 180, and I need to take a look. So the issue that I'm having, I think you might have seen, is this. As far as the arrival goes, the current arrivals for Troutdale are Helen 6 or Ocean City 2. Helen 6 is not going to work because that's an arrival from the north. So we have to figure out a way to, since we filed this, we have to figure out a way to fly it. Now we could tell the controller that we filed an incorrect arrival and just let him know that our nav data is outdated. But I honestly think before we do that, I'm gonna see if we can't, can't maybe find these. I know we have Klamath Falls. I know we should be able to find Eugene. I don't know about Portal and Vance and all that, but O City, that might not be something we can find. But I'm going to see if we can just build this approach by hand before we ask ATC to make adjustments, because that, especially with an event that's going on, that can be a really labor-intensive thing, and not, generally speaking, not something I like to do if I can help it. Should have, if we keep our eyes peeled. I'm looking at the Vatastic map. We should have a 737 that's kind of following our same path, zipping over the top of us at some point. We're going to get leveled out here and get our engines where they need to be. Again, the pilot operating the POH says prop RPM should be somewhere in that 1800 range, and the turbine RPM should be up at 91%, which is kind of the most efficient way to operate these turbine engines that are on this plane. And so we will try to do that. We are going to hit 1800, so I'm going to click the barrel right now and just make sure that that's where we top off. You can hear the trim spinning to steady us, and then our speed will climb. We need to keep an eye on that. We should be somewhere up in that 190 to 200 range. There's that 737 screaming on by. He'll be a little higher and a little quicker than we are. That's okay. All right, so meanwhile, back to business. Let's see what we can do here. So I have the chart up on the other screen. I'm not gonna have that on both. I'm not gonna pull both of those up. So Klamath Falls is actually the transition into Ocean City. So let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can enter in Eugene. So EUG, Echo Uniform Golf. All right, there's one of the waypoints on the Ocean City to O City. I don't know if it's Ocean City, O City. Then we need Portal. Keep your fingers crossed, say a little prayer. Papa Oscar Romeo Tango Lima. Portal. It says Northwest USA. All right, that's good. Next is Vance. Victor Alpha November Tango Zulu. Vance Northwest. Hey. All right, well, we're only one. Oh, wait a second. O City, that's next. We're actually a little further. I thought we were going to be good to go. OCITY. Okay, O City. And it's Battleground. Is this a 2? Oh, Battleground is okay. I will show you this. Here was my confusion. So we were able to get Klamath Falls, Eugene, Portal, Vance, and O City all entered in, and then I saw battleground, and I was thinking, oh crap, maybe there's something around here that I have to enter also. My guess, though, is we will be vectored well before, like, yeah, right here. O City, I think, is where you're going to get the vectors. I think Troutdale and Portland are landing west right now, so I'm guessing we'll get this 100, this right turn to 100, come around and land on whatever that is, 29 or 28 or 29, whatever that is. So okay, so I feel like even though we had to enter it by hand, we at least have the O City 2 arrival, so we won't actually have that in the FMC, but we basically do have it there because we put it in by hand. Go us. I'll go ahead and turn that flight plan off so we have all this here. Okay. Nice day. Look at that wind. Only maybe hard to see there. Just 3 knots off of our left wing, so that's awesome. I don't see, I'll pull this up just because I haven't checked for a while. I don't see really any major storm activity right now where we're at. It's clear and just gorgeous all the way up, really. I mean, those wind speeds are fantastic. The map, yeah, just showing not a whole lot of anything going on. So what a beautiful night for flight. Awesome, awesome. Now if we can just get some air traffic so you guys don't have to listen to me clamor on all night long, we'll be in business. We could, if we really wanted to. I don't know that this would hurt us at all. Let's put in Seattle Center 2420. I really haven't, there's only been one time actually that I've tuned in an air traffic, a center area where I've not been in the area that I've been told, please go back to Unicom. And that was actually over in Europe somewhere. Okay. We have Seattle Center online. I think this event is actually winding down. It started at 2200 Zulu, so yeah, we're looking at I mean, it's supposed to be a 6-hour deal. We're almost to the end of the 5th hour right now, so I think traffic is starting to wind down. I'm sure the air traffic guys are starting to get a little worn out as well, but hopefully they'll be on long enough for us to make our approach into Troutdale. Troutdale is one of those little airports. It's a default airport, but it's received the Orbix, you know, special small airport treatment. So it's beautiful. I love it.
6621, you've got 618 at me.
It's right at the mouth of the Columbia River Gorge, and I've flown that gorge now I think 3 times, maybe 3 or 4 times. Actually did some off-airport stuff. One night did some sandbar landing and some mesa landing, and it was a lot of fun. Very jealous that X-Plane guys got the True Earth Oregon before the P3D guys, us P3D guys. But that's okay. I don't know right now if I have the hard drive space to justify picking that up. But, so I'm interested to see what the reviews are. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, 618.
The one guy that I saw flying today, though, did land on a smaller kind of grass or gravel strip, and I was underwhelmed. Of course, the scenery around it looked fantastic, but
Seattle Center, good evening, American 26.
maybe it was just the particular airport, but it was very sort of
muted
muted colors and very rectangular. I mean, it was a default airport, and it just looked default. I guess I was hoping, you know, with the True Earth that maybe be a little bit more, I don't know, definition or something. I don't know what I was hoping for, but well, I do know what I'm hoping for. What I'm hoping for is somebody to figure out how to model those mountain landing strips, like what you see in Idaho, you know, Johnson's Creek and some of those, and make them look better than they do right now as default. That will be when it gets fun. Now, perhaps the stopgap solution until they do that in the P3D or the X-plane world is that dead stick bush flying sim that they're working on.
And 12 runway 34 left, taxi via Alpha, and clear to the Portland Airport.
Keeping one eye on that, to be sure.
10,000, swap 665 time. 34 left, taxi via Alpha, 4455, Fahrenheit Central.
Sorry, I turned my engine sounds down a while ago, and if it's too loud or too low, and you hear me breathing and drinking my tea and all that stuff, and I don't like that. This ought to be a little bit better, but not too loud that you can't hear.
2664, intercom taking on Southwest Big City, call level 360, good evening. Right, thank you, American Engineer. GPS 618, reliable, Portland landing west, 11393.
Roger, this MJ, the 04 arrival for UPS 618.
I need a mute button for that stuff. Here's the deal. Slant Alpha joining us, by the way, from Slant Alpha Adventures. Another friend of channel, for sure. Actually, I should call you a mentor of channel. Essentially, I've copied everything that he does and tried to replicate it on my channel. It's called Steal Like an Artist, my friend, by the way. There's a book out about that. It's a compliment to you. But yeah, I actually did have a hotkey set up to mute my mic because it's cumbersome to go over and click it, but I haven't been able to find a good key that I don't use at some point in time when I'm either typing in information into my flight plan or typing notes on my document on the other screen. And so I inadvertently, at least once per stream, mute myself without realizing it, or unmute myself without realizing it, and then, well, the results are what you would expect. But I do like your outlook on that. It's the full immersion experience that you call it. So, good deal. Well, not a lot to look at, unfortunately, but I promise you when we get closer to Portland, it'll be worth it, because I do have the Portland, I don't know if it's the cityscape or what exactly it is from Orbix, but there was a little bit of an upgrade that you could do, and it helps the night lighting anyway. Looks pretty darn cool. And since we're heading to Troutdale, that's pretty close. I do like what they've done night lighting wise in P3D version 4.5. They really lost that in 4.4. They went way too far as making things dark. And yeah, I know, could you would you be able to see this much ground at, you know, 9 o'clock at night? I don't know. But for some reason it translates way better on a stream when you can see just a little bit of what's going on around you. And the Milky Way makes an appearance there. That's kind of nice as well. I'll take that. Okay, so I have, let's see, there's a little bit of a glitch here, guys, and I can't turn these lights on. If I turn these lights on, see all these buttons here? Watch what happens. Bye-bye. Got to keep those off. They're working on that. I've let those guys know. That's a glitch that happened in the transition from 4.4 to 4.5. Ground Point Niner, he does have a way of painting a picture, doesn't he? So this panel is going to be a little bit dark, is what I'm saying, and we're just going to have to live with it. But the good folks at Flight 1, they are working on that. They're not sure exactly what's happening. They asked me to do a bunch of install, reinstall stuff and config changes, and I was not super comfortable doing that. I mean, it's working, everything else is working pretty doggone well. We are at cruise, by the way. I'm going to turn the prop sync on like I should have about 10 minutes ago. And the way I figure it for now, as long as I know what's causing that little glitch, I can live with it as it is right now while they have somebody smarter than me do the coding.
Okay, how many miles and where's your respective base? Me, I'm IMC, but I'll be looking. Okay, it was just a point out. It's about 2469. Okay.
So, Rob, I don't know when you hopped in here, but it's not been my weekend. I know you saw the somewhat clumsy approach into Seattle last night where I just about, well, I did stall. I managed to stall a DC-8 on approach and basically fly it like an F-16 until I got control of it again. So, and then I managed, once I got it down on the ground, I was still thinking about that, and I drifted past a hold short line and caused another aircraft to have to abort his takeoff, which was lots of fun. So yeah, it was not a good night last night, and then tonight we actually started out at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because we had some ATC there at in the Salt Lake area, and got just north of Boise, and P3D completely spit the bit. So I'm kind of hard-headed, I guess, and I wanted to get back up on the horse again and try to at least have one successful flight while they have all the Portland ATC, Seattle ARTCC going. So really hoping and praying that this is that flight. Yeah, my departure, been lurking, yeah, since this departure. Okay, cool. So in other words, stop me if you've heard this one before, and I should stop right now, but it's I've been replaying that arrival, as well as actually the departure out of San Diego was not great either. But the cool part, if you're one of the other 4 people that are here that's not Rob, is that we departed from vastly different airports at vastly different times. Slant Alpha Adventures last night was Slant Lima Adventure last night. He departed from Chicago O'Hare at what I have to imagine had to have been at least an hour before I departed. I departed from San Diego, and I kind of made this offhanded remark when I got airborne and checked my Vatastic sort of. I've got all my friends on the side here, so I saw his name over here, and I'm like, wouldn't that be cool if we ended up with parallel approaches? And sure enough, as luck would have it, or fate, or whatever, it wasn't quite parallel approaches, but it was one right after the other. So I thought that was pretty ironic and a lot of fun. I enjoyed listening to your version on it on the stream today. I thought I'll give you $5 if you get me in ahead of Delta 949. I basically snort laughed tea up my nose when I heard that, and that's why my smart aleck response was so delayed, is because I was choking to death trying to come up with a reply. But I think the ATC liked it as well. There's some really great guys up here working the Seattle area. Yeah, so the guy
6656 Delta 88.
Yeah, and I actually reached out to him via private message, even though so 7:30. Okay, I'll come back to that. But even though the ground controller tried to make me feel better by saying, it wasn't your fault. It clearly was my fault. I had drifted all the way past the hold short line and completely screwed that up. So I messaged the guy, and I'm like, hey dude, that was my fault. And he was good. He really was, after he kind of figured out what had happened. But I've been in those situations where you're like 40 minutes to get clearance, and then another 20 minutes to get taxi clearance, and then you're in line 6 deep or more, and and then to finally be able to get lined up and ready to go, and being told you have to go RTO. I can understand why he'd be a little bit upset, but anyway, so Rob said he headed out at 7:30 Eastern time, so that would be 5:30 my time. So yeah, I was almost 90 minutes after you took off. I was pretty close to 6 o'clock, or 5:30. So no, sorry, not 90 minutes. A good half an hour to an hour after you. Yeah, because it was about 6:30 my time, and double jump I did. That was the only thing I could come up with.
What was the speed for the T156?
That was the only thing I could come up with in the morning as I was aspirating Bigelow English tea time tea.
Cost cost. Wow, I can't.
Well,
cost index.
Yeah, and most of the guys, as you know, are really good about stuff like that. I mean, they get it, but that doesn't make me feel any better or any worse. I mean, it makes me feel worse because it was a rookie mistake. I should have known better, and there's no excuse for that. But if I had $1 for every dumb mistake I made in my life, and I'd be retired and flying flight sim full time, and I wouldn't be making dumb mistakes on flight sim. So it is what it is. Hey, Al Sal checking in. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Welcome to the darkened nighttime cockpit. Everyone enjoys watching G1000 panel lights as we cruise up the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, no, honestly, it reminded me a little bit of the time where you had your icing issue and actually crashed your bearing, and I remember you making a comment about, I'm surprised at how much that affected me. And that was kind of last night. The stalling out and almost going inverted. You know, that I laughed that off. I mean, so I've got 186 virtual passengers and a virtual flight crew that aren't going to want to ever fly with me again. No big deal. But the rejected takeoff hit me a little harder than I thought, and so. But that's not always bad, because again, you don't make those mistakes again. I'm sure I'll have a power off stall on approach again, just because that's, you know, whatever that is, what it is. But I don't ever see myself screwing up a taxi again. At least I hope not. So Al South, no, this is not the Duke. It's its big brother. This is the King Air 200 Super. So it's got the turbines and all the bells and whistles, but a little bit bigger boy. Been a while since I'd been in it. Felt like flying a little slant Lima, and so anyway, it is a nice. It's a Flight 1 G1000, and it is one of the very, very best, I think, FMCs that there is in P3D. It's really, really nice. But I did find a slight chink in the armor, and that is it's a little outdated in terms of its AIRAC cycle. I don't have the O City 2 arrival, and so I had to actually put that in by hand, which luckily we had all the waypoints in there. But that's a little strange. And actually, the other thing I found that was strange, when we were flying from Jackson originally into Portland, it didn't have any arrivals into Portland. And I know, at least I assume, maybe not. Maybe Portland doesn't have. Maybe Portland's like it's another big airport that doesn't have arrivals. Anyway, the AIRAC data is a little outdated, I guess is what I'm saying, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get that updated. But yeah, it is pretty sophisticated. It can do just about everything that you want to do. Fly just about any arrival, any departure that you need. You can hold, and I mean it's fully RNAV capable and all that good stuff. The only thing it doesn't have, well, the only two things that it doesn't have, first of all, any kind of weather radar, and it also does not have any kind of VNAV. Even though you'll see VNAV over here, it's not simulated. So vertical speed mode works, VNAV not so much. But that's okay. I just tell myself that's practice for my DC-8. All right, I better check in. I'll wait a little bit here.
You didn't cross Zuma at 1-2000, and advise when you have the weather at
we're actually getting we're getting close to Klamath Falls, I think. Maybe not quite yet. Nope. Kagi. Klamath Falls is the transition into the arrival. Hey, Downwind is back. How was dinner, man? Boy, have things changed since you were originally here, my friend. Al South has been watching some vids about the real pilots. Yeah, and how they actually like the flight level change. Yeah. I mean, I think from what I've seen, it's VNAV is nice. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm in the 737 and I know it's gonna manage that descent for me, it's pretty slick. But even VNAV can cause you problems if you don't have things programmed in correctly, or if you get a late descent. that kind of thing. The peppercorn steak. Oh my goodness, yes indeed. And you were supposed to bring me back a little ice cream. I'm assuming that's in one of those styrofoam packages that you send. You get the Omaha steaks in. It's probably heading my way.
Seattle Center, good evening. This is KLM 175. Ahead of you with you up to 50,000.
Have you guys ever had the Omaha steaks? You know what I'm talking about? The guys that go around town and they sell steaks out of the back of a van, and they always try to get you to buy like literally $600 worth of steaks that are all flash frozen. And I have never myself given in. I came close one time. I had the guy talk down to like $200 or something like that, but when I did the math, it was still like 2 years worth of steaks. And I'm like, even if they're frozen, half of that steak is going to go bad. So anyway, I ended up not getting anything. But I have some relatives that came and visited us this summer and hung out with us, and they sent us apparently they are like Steak of the Month Club or something. Yeah, $200 a case or whatever. And but yeah, I was surprised. Al South, you're backing me up on this. It was really good. I mean, there was a couple filet mignons that I cooked up, and yeah, if you just you got to take a little time. You have to make sure they thaw out, but they'll grill up, and they're good. And I come from steak beef country, man, and so anyway, so I hope the little steak guy doesn't come driving around, because I'm going to really be tempted to join up. All right, so yeah, downwind. Here's the deal with the flight. So we actually had a flight sim crash just north of Boise, and so I have respawned, and I actually went back down. I don't know if you were here 2 Fridays ago, where I flew into a little airport near Oakland called Angwin-Parrett, and instead of a regular beautiful arrival, we actually crashed through 3 layers of scenery. And anyway, it was crazy. So I flew out of. I actually have spent some time fixing that scenery issue, and I flew out of Angwin-Parrett, and now we're heading up. Instead of going to Portland, we're going to Troutdale. So I've changed up the route just a little bit. And anyway, so that's where we're at currently. Just entered into. Here we are down here. Just entered into Seattle airspace. I really need to check in here. Let me do that real quick. Just passed. Well, Seattle Center. Good evening, King Air 252 Juliet Romeo, flight level 180. We just entered your airspace at the south. From the south. There it is. There was the contact. No, I don't. I have honestly, I could count on one hand the number of times that it's crashed on me. The P3D has crashed on me. Now, it used to happen all the time when I had FSX, but 6616 ident 252 Juliet Romeo.
Alaska 577 slot 6654 ident.
Identificación. So anyway, I don't know. I just restarted the sim. I didn't do a restart on my computer, and I'm just praying that things go well here. So anyway, yeah, they're pricey. They're pricey, but I'm kind of with you, Al South. I think a guy I think a guy could, as long as you do have the freezer space. That's a good point. You keep them cold, I think they're going to stay good for quite a while. The other thing they had that surprised me is they have some really good desserts, and the desserts you don't have to necessarily thaw out quite as much.
Hey, Farno, if you just send us another contact.
You just put them in the oven like at 300 and let them cook for 45 minutes, and it's just like there was a strudel we had. There was some kind of a cake or something. So those guys at I think it's Kansas City, right? Kansas City steak or something like that. Anyway, this video is not sponsored by Omaha Steaks. That's what it is, Omaha Steaks. Downwind Sim, you got to make sure mark your calendar next Saturday. That position checks 252 Juliet Romeo. Right about midnight Zulu, kind of our normal time. We are going to be doing some more bush flying, and I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to do my first ever teaser on the channel, but I am going to be doing something on the channel that I've never done before, and I'm very excited about it. And I think I've flown the route that I'm going to do twice now, and I'm going to, not only am I going to do something that I've never done before, I'm going to show you guys something you've maybe never seen before. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll leave it right there. Let that marinate in the slow cooker. I can't imagine that X-Plane does not have a ton of great bush flying options. But I will say this. I watched a guy today, another stream that I follow, fly around the new True Earth Oregon, and I was a little underwhelmed at what he only went into one sort of it was like a little gravel or grass strip or something like that. So it wasn't like he flew a lot of those, like like up in Idaho where you can get into Johnson's Creek and some of those more famous ones. But the one he flew into was very underwhelming. It was very rectangular, and I mean it was a default airport. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't supposed to look somewhat default, but this looked bad for what I'm sort of used to seeing from X-Plane. It looked like something I would see from P3D, honestly. But anyway, I hope you guys find some stuff, because it's addicting, I'm telling you. Alright, we've got, let's see, just about to Klamath Falls. Again, that is that's our entrance into our O City O City 2 arrival, and we don't have to really get too crazy here just yet. We're only at 18,000 right now, so we'll be hitting here, then we'll be tracking 323. It's all slant Lima, so it's not like we're chasing VORs tonight, but really the first thing we need to be concerned about here is advance. And so we're prop turbojet, we need to be, or sorry, prop turboprop, we need to be 10,000 advance. So I mean, that's a very doable descent for us. And then I don't see any other landing restrictions until O City landing restrictions. How about altitude restrictions? We need to be above 7,000 at OC. Again, we're anticipating a turn here, 100, to make left traffic and land to the west into Portland Troutdale. Starting to pick up a little bit of lights. Thanks for kind of putting up with the dark scenery here. I promise you when we get to Portland it's going to be worth it. It looks really, really nice. Yeah, the dead stick bush flight sim I'm looking forward to. I tried to weasel my way into the beta testing, but they wouldn't let me because I'm a nobody. I even threw Slant Alpha's name out there just to try to name drop my way in. It didn't work. No, I didn't. I did reach out to see if they needed beta testers, and they were already fully staffed, as it were. But yeah, when that comes out, I'm gonna be all over it. I like their approach. It's a completely different approach to flight sim. They basically are just creating their own little world. That'll, as I understand, it's going to mimic, I think, what Alaska looks like, and it's like a whole career mode. It's like the reality expansion pack, only with a Cub up in Alaska. So you're saying don't name drop? Can I use Rob Sherman Jr.? Is that a better name, or I don't know? Next time mention your name. Well, I'll throw anybody's name out there, man. Whatever gets me access to cool stuff. Alright, I gotta start paying attention to air traffic here. I keep listening for King Air as my cue, but sometimes they just roll straight into the November 252 and I will miss that. Alright, I'm going to check real quick here. Just going to peek ahead here. I haven't flown this plane, like I say, for a while, so I don't have any descent checklist per se. I will need to. The only thing on the descent checklist is just making sure my altimeter is correct. So let's see what Active Sky is telling me. Weather at Troutdale right now is calm conditions, 10 statute miles of viz, but we do have overcast 4,800. 29902 is the altimeter. That's very convenient. We'll just leave it on standard, basically. So they could technically land me either direction, but I think just looking at the map here, it appears that they are. Here's their landing west tonight. Alright, so Slant is heading off. Say hi to another streamer. Take it easy, man. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. We'll catch you on the TCast later on, I'm sure. Preaching to the choir, really, with the guys that are on now, but definitely worth the follow, the subscribe, whatever it is you do in Twitch. I'm still learning that. Complete wealth of information. Very very willing to share and help out. Great guy. Have a good night, Slanty.
1435 Seattle, clock 6601, clock 6601, IDAC.
I'm seeing a bunch of bigger planes here, 737s and Airbuses, A319. Oh, there's a 747. He has the wrong flight plan in. He's heading. No, he was L.A. to Seattle. I'm the only King Air in the neighborhood right now, anyway. Yep, 7373 767. All the way from Louisville. Wow, nice flight. There's a PA-28 departing from, what would that be? Uniform Alpha Oscar. One of those little small Aurora State. Yeah, that's a cool little airport. Heading up to Whiskey 5-2. Is that Sir Walter Sutton's private strip? Is that what that is? He must have his time of day set as daylight, because I don't think you can get in there at night.
I can't understand what you're saying, sir.
Alright, guys. Oh, that's a 737 that's ahead of us. Not seeing many lights just yet on the horizon, but won't be long. Portland is within reach.
Yes,
Yeah, that guy's having some comm issues.
1435 Seattle Center, radar contact, 45 miles northwest of Seattle, line up level 241, calling in level 250.
And it's still calling to flight level 250, Canada Air 1435.
Order 120, requesting flight level 360. Is that show 175? Station calling. I don't know if it's my headset or yours, but I can't understand what you're saying. You're going to keep checking. Full red 1320, request flight level 360, correction, 360. Clear red 1320, contact maintain level 350. 350, full red 1320.
Seattle Center, America 2.
American 2.
Be advised you're 5x5.
Roger, thank you.
Seattle Center, I think he lied to you a little bit there. You're actually about 3, maybe 3.5 past 5.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Alright, I'm just looking ahead a little bit here, sky vector wise. We're not quite to Eugene just yet. We get to Eugene and hopefully we'll be officially cleared onto the arrival, but just looking ahead here at
Radio check.
it looks like runway 25 is going to be in all likelihood what we're cleared to arrive on. So there is an RNAV arrival there. I don't know if that is what we have in our FMC or not. The overcast layer has me just a little bit concerned about doing a visual approach.
145 Alpha, Horizon 174.
Horizon 174, Roger. You found 14000. I guess the last controller gave you 155,000. You want to.
But this also worries me a little bit because I don't know if I'll have these waypoints.
Yeah, it's just how
So-
it doesn't make a difference for us. We're just filed on what our dispatcher file is on.
I guess I'm a little bit confused here, so I'm going to need to look in my FMC and see what I've got as far as procedures go along those lines. Alright, let's go down here. Still have 90 miles to Eugene. Plenty of time here. Let's select an approach. Looks like the RNAV GPS Alpha is the one we can use, so that's comforting actually, because we know we have that if we need it. I'm not going to load it though just yet because I want to just make sure that that's, if we load that in there and it puts in, you know, another 4 or 5 waypoints, it gets kind of messy to try to clear that out if that's not the approach they want us to use. So
actually clear direct timbers and then to send you the timbers to arrival for landing with Portal Timbers 29902.
So Timbers to send the timbers to landing with copy altimeter left time 27.
So anyway, we have that, I guess, in our back pocket to make a long story short, so that'll be good. So Al South still don't quite understand the G1000, and well, I tell you that there's a couple things that it took me a while to figure out, and I don't know if this is the same in X-Plane or not, but let me show you 2 of the things that were huge time wasters for me, just so they're not for you. Number 1, there's no way in this G1000 to put in altitude. And that's because the Flight 1 G1000 in P3D does not simulate VNAV. So don't try to put altitudes in if you happen to be in my situation. And then the next thing that took me a long time to figure out was how to enter an airway. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but here's how you enter an airway. So you get on the entry point, you push menu, and load airway is right there. I can't tell you how long I messed up. Geez Louise, now I just screwed up. Hold that thought. I'm going to go back to heading mode. I'm going to continue going towards where Eugene was. I just deleted Eugene accidentally. That's how you delete a waypoint, by the way. Push clear. Anyway, I can't tell you how many hours I wasted searching for that very thing. Alright, E-U-G. Let's put Eugene back in there. We need him. Okay, so if you want to insert something ahead of, like, I wanted to put Eugene back in above portal, so you have to be on portal, and everything you enter will be above portal or above whatever you're currently on. I mean, everything else is very similar. I don't know if you're familiar with like the GNS 750 or the GNS 550. You know, it's pretty similar to that. Now, the one that's a little different that I struggle with is actually the G1000 that's in the Coronado, the Phenom, and it's just different enough from what this one is that I get a little bit cross-eyed. All right, so you saw we slid out of our proper track, so I'm going to go ahead and here's the one thing I do like is it'll intercept the course. So I'm going to head 300 to intercept, see where I'm at right here, and I'm going to engage nav. And well, I was close enough that it didn't take long, but like say you're way out here to the right of course, you can actually set the heading to intercept, and you can engage nav at the same time, and then once it gets close to your actual track, it'll pick that up for you automatically. So I spent an hour today learning how to start the MD8. Oh, you bought a Mad Dog downwind? That is awesome, buddy. Familiar with the G540, but yeah, it may be Al South. It may just be the add-on, whoever's making the add-on, because like I said, I love it. I love the Flight 1 version. I don't love the Coronado version quite so much, but you know, whenever I'm flying this, man, just watch my flow and see if it's similar to what you do or what your plane does, or because I'm no expert, there's no question about it. It's just been trial and error and doing the same thing you're doing, watching other people program and watching videos on how to program it, and I've learned quite a bit, but I'm still a long way from where I would consider myself to have it all figured out. Yeah, buddy, the Mad Dog, that's on my wish list. There is a little bit of a vintage bird, but it has like all the it's kind of like this. It's a kind of an older aircraft, but it has like all the modern aviation bells and whistles for the most part, I think, doesn't it? I know it's one of the favorites in the P3D world for sure.
Say again, squawk code for Alaska 931, please.
Squawk 6621 6621.
661. Alaska 931.
All right, about 60 miles from Eugene. Eugene will turn north and be heading basically right towards Portland. So downwind, I got to tell you, man,
6614, Australia, 0.
that's one of my favorite things about the flight sim world is like unboxing a new airplane and digging through all of the just information to try to even do something as simple as getting things started, figuring out that engine start procedure. I love that. I love that. And the first time, like you say, it takes an hour, and then, you know, after a month, pretty soon you've got it down to 45 minutes, and after a while it's like a 20-minute deal. I love that. Now I just need to get you streaming so I can enjoy with you.
Squawk 641, Alaska 931.
I'm in quite the conga line here, guys. Here we are. All these guys are going into Portland, though. I think I'm the only guy going to Troutdale. Yep. Yeah, the VR, again, that's, you talk about you catching the bug after watching me bush fly. I've been looking at a lot of different VR options after talking to you about it a little bit. Oh yeah, I get that, Downwind. I mean, yeah, you wanna have a good feel for things.
Delta 1592, Seattle Center, climbing 16,000 and reset transponder squawk 657.
It won't take you long, I bet.
16,660 squawk up 15.
1121 connex approach 5.6.
1254.
Whoa. Oh boy.
931. That was it. Radar compact position as reported. Clear timbers.
931 clear.
That guy's in an MD-82. He's behind us. Quite a ways, but he...
17,000.
I thought I heard King Air.
8519 is descending now to Hawk 7.
Channel 8519 Seattle Center, Roger.
And Seattle Center, so you were a little broken. Did I hear a call for a King Air just a minute ago?
Negative.
Okay. Alright. Just double checking. Making sure.
Charlie Lima Bravo, confirmation total of 430.
430 Charlie, Lima Bravo.
Lost the Comic Portland approach 124.35.
2435, Alaska 14,
I will be using Portland approach here, I think.
Singapore 289 descending the crater to arrival, Portland landing west from 100-902.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. 12435.
Singapore 289 descending via crater to arrival, Portland landing west, Portland 100-902.
All right, I'll be ready for that. And I don't believe Portland Tower, even though Troutdale's close. I think Portland Tower is just for the Portland area. Hey, we can start to see a little bit of the Portland City scene starting to come into play here. Again, really, really nice. I like it anyway. I hope it comes across on the stream. Looks decent. There's that overcast layer that they're talking about at 4,500.
Enter Delta 8888 with you at flight level 150, requesting flight level 200. Delta 8, you'll be at 15,000 as your final altitude. Roger. Alaska 577, contact Portland approach 355.
2435, Alaska 577, sir.
One thing I'm noticing here that this approach, boy, it really takes me out of the way here. Which maybe that's a good thing because all these heavies can swing by. The only checklist right now downwind is the descent checklist, and the only item on that is checking the altimeter, which is actually 29902. So that was a pretty simple one. Thanks for the reminder, though. Got to get you on voice, man. We keep saying we're going to do it.
1290, contact Portland approach 124.35.
2435, that's from today.
All right, 30 miles. A little bit of a right turn. And then we're going to have to hopefully we'll get a little bit of a descent clearance before too long. Again, we only have to lose 8,000 feet to get down to our first restriction at Vance and 50 50 miles to do it, so I mean
Very much.
it won't be right away, but it'll be coming.
So for 5892, contact Seattle approach 125.6.
25.6, that's 59, that's it. Yeah, San Jose, 25.7 with you, climbing to 13,000.
Clear road 1320, William Aerospace Center, State 7830, change approved. Delta 888, maintain 250 knots. 250 knots for Delta 888.
We'll definitely see the cloud layer here on our active sky map. Conditions are still looking pretty good, just cloudy. Overcast 4,800. It's kind of our main worry, but not seeing any precip, which is good. Always good to keep peeking out here just to make sure we don't have any ice build up. Even so, outside air temp is yeah, it's down there where we could get some ice if we came across any precip. Am I flying a star into Portland? Well, no, yes and no. Downwind. This is what we're flying right now. Ocean City 2, O-City 2, and we are right now inbound Eugene. We do need to be at 10,000 advance. We'll be above 7,000 at O-City. We're expecting a right-hand turn on vector, probably 100 for a westerly approach, runway 25 into Portland Troutdale. But we have not officially been cleared really to do anything just yet. We're just sort of anticipating that, and we're slow enough moving. We're only 220 knots here that we've got time to make adjustments as needed. That's kind of where we're at there. And then if it's runway 25, there is an RNAV into runway 25 that we do have on our FMC if we need it. Yep, good to know. Yeah, what might be coming in. That's absolutely right. Always a good habit, I think, to get into. I don't think we're actually going to be given this RNAV approach. I really think we're going to be vectored, and even though there's a little bit of an overcast layer at 4,300, I think we're going to be getting a visual approach. The field elevation's 39 feet, so we'll be well below that overcast layer as we get vectored and are given our descent clearance or altitude restrictions. So that would be what I would expect. That's what I've always gotten the 4 or 5 times I've flown into Troutdale. We will see. Hey, Eugene. Eugene approach came online. Awesome. Okay, making our turn, heading pretty much direct Portland now. last little, oh, I don't know, 50, 60 mile leg here, I think. Last 20 minutes or so of the flight. So far, so good. We've held up. No crashes. P3D has been very, very stable as far as that goes, I gotta be honest. That's why I was so...
Singapore 289, contact the Portland approach. Singapore 289, contact Portland approach 124.35.
so surprised when it completely locked up. It's not uncommon to... not uncommon for it to hesitate just a little bit every now and again, but to have a full-blown... I mean, it stopped. It was done. That's pretty rare. Still 15 arrivals and 15 departures in and out of Portland. I think we're kind of closing in on the waning 15 or 20 minutes of this event. Do have 17 arrivals, 9 departures up at SeaTac right now. But kind of an encouraging sign to see Eugene Tower, or excuse me, Eugene Approach come online, because maybe they're kind of catching their second wind. We need them. We need them again for probably about another half hour or so. No stalls on approach and no guarantees, man. No guarantees. I am going to have to find a new crew for the DC-8. I'm pretty sure they all quit on me after that approach into Seattle last night. Holy guacamole. And I'm expecting 186 strongly worded emails to the president of Delta Airlines. Boy, that was something else. I was talking to Slan Alpha. You know, the part that bothers me the most is not that, because I do that stuff from time to time, you know, and especially in an aircraft that I have. I mean, I don't even have 100 hours in that aircraft yet, so that kind of stuff is going to happen. But what bothered me most was drifting through that whole short line and making that guy have to abort his takeoff. I just felt bad. I still feel bad about that. I reached out to the guy on private message, and he was very gracious, and he was like, you know, no worries, man. But I felt bad, like I was telling Rob. I've been in that situation. Well, heck, I had a stream one night where I was 40 minutes waiting for a clearance, and then I've been on another stream where I've been 12 deep, you know, on the taxiway waiting to depart. And so, I mean, you could be an hour and a half just waiting to get to that point where you're ready to hit your takeoff roll, and then to have to go RTO. I could understand the frustration there, and I did genuinely feel bad about that. That was of everything else that happened. I mean, that's what stuck with me. Yeah, the junior first officer, he went to bed early. Oh, that kid. What a fun day, though. Spent the whole day with him. First time in, geez, a week. Probably this time last week. Had all 3 meals with him. I mean, that's cool. Stuff time you don't get back. All right. Well, what do we got here? Let's see. Maybe I'm looking at this approach chart wrong. Oh, it's saying not to scale, I guess. Oh. Well. Oh, you know what? I know why. I actually am off the approach a little bit here. Okay. So I had to hand enter this approach because we didn't have it in our procedure. And instead of Eugene, that should have been Moxie. So we did sort of make a little unintended detour here. We didn't have to come all the way out here to Eugene, only to be directed back to Portal. I wonder what the ATC is thinking. We should have went here to here. I wonder when I deleted that waypoint if maybe I had Moxie in there and I deleted it and thought it was Eugene. I don't know. Well, so I've extended this flight just a little bit. Not a huge deal, but that's the problem when you don't have an up-to-date nav database, is you hand enter things in. When you hand enter things, sometimes you make mistakes. So, but that's okay. Plenty of fuel. Oh yeah, we're still good to go. Actually, haven't hardly burned any fuel, so. Everything else is looking very good.
Field Center, good evening. Delta 73.
Thought I had these on already.
About 100 miles north of Mullen Pass.
All right, that'll help a little bit. Some of these lights.
Delta calling, please call sign only.
All right, back to Portal. Then we could actually resume the arrival. Now we have 23 miles to get ourselves down to 10,000. So I'm hoping that we start to get a clearance here soon to descend.
South Center, West Wind, 304, 15,000, 15,000.
West Wind 394, Seattle Center, calling maintain full level 240.
Tell you what I did is I let that Mad Dog behind us. Now I kind of brought him into play. He was way behind us a little bit ago, and now he's kind of closing fast, as you might expect. That little dog leg left that I did didn't help the traffic situation. Oh well.
Seattle Center, Horizon 2703 with you, 12,000.
All right. Again, picking up a few more of the kind of suburb surrounding lights. The thing I like about the lighting down here is it's just tucked in amongst all the little hills and lakes and rivers. Just super, super beautiful. And then there's always little airfields here and there, you know.
Horizon 2703 with you, 12,000.
And these on my sim are all default airports, but they're just really well done. I mean, got that free airport, small airport upgrade treatment that Orbix has done with several hundred of the airfields. And yeah, that's cool. I like flying up here.
Center 2703, roger that. Cancel that.
Okay, my friends.
Roger.
Now we're really going towards Portland.
Delta Center, West Wind 394. We're going to top out at flight level 200 tonight.
West Wind 394, Seattle Center, roger, maintain full level 200.
Thank you.
Looks like we got a Cessna 172 kind of in.
Juliet Romeo, descend and maintain 0,000, Portland altimeter 29902.
Descend and maintain 10,000, 252 Juliet Romeo. Alright, there we go. There we go, my friends. Vertical VS it. And we'll see how close. We do get that little altitude. 2435, 252 Juliet Romeo. Good night.
I'm a little close there, but we got an eye on.
Let's pull the power back.
Yeah, it should be factory.
And I think we get.
So he must be going a little field out there.
I think we get that little altitude marker. Maybe not. Alright, well.
American 2, did you want the visual?
Get a low power warning there. That's usually a gear warning. But if you pull back too far on the power, you get that.
2 for that visual 285. American 2.
And Portland approach, King Air 252 Juliet Romeo, 17,000 descending on the O City 2 with hotel.
King Air 252 Juliet Romeo, good evening and thanks for one of the best calls of the night. Continue descending by the City 2 arrival and expect vectors for the ILS mentioned you went to 8 right, sir.
And we're actually heading to Troutdale tonight, so we'll need, I was assuming visual into 2.5.
Oh, 2 Juliet Romeo from a circle just noticed that. Yeah, you can expect the visual, vectors for the visual 2.5.
Alright, expect the vectors visual 2.5, 252 Juliet Romeo, thanks. Alright.
Yeah, 2 Juliet Romeo actually, and actually expect transition over Portland. And so you'll be making right traffic over the North Bank.
Okay, transition over Portland and expect right traffic to Juliet Romeo.
Okay, 2 Juliet Romeo actually will do this. Let me actually fly heading 3. Actually, maintain your present heading for now, but go ahead and maintain 7,000.
Okay, all the way down 7,000, 252 Juliet Romeo. Alright, gotta sort me out amongst all those big boys, I understand. So, we're gonna want to keep our speed up here. I mean, we don't want to go crazy, but we have to understand that we've got, well, we got a Mad Dog behind us, and then behind him there's an A320. So, and then I think that's actually it as far as coming from the south. Everybody else is up north. Well, there's a 737 that might be a factor. So I think if we can come keep our speed up, it's going to be helpful. So there you go. There's some of that Seattle city scenery, lighting and stuff, and little airfields here and there, kind of dotting the area. I don't know. Just looks pretty doggone cool. I don't have my rendering turned up very far, so a lot of these lights will kind of pop in as we go. I think I have it like set to be 10 miles ahead or something like that. Don't quite have the graphics card power to do too much, but kind of got it configured to max it out. Kind of leaned the mixture, as it were, on my graphics card, getting about as much out of it as I can. We'll see right before the river here, we'll see Portland International, and we're going to go past it. So as far as a briefing again, we are going to expect We're going to go down 7,000 now, which is the O City altitude restriction, and they're going to take us over Portland and then right traffic into Troutdale. And then we're going to expect a visual into runway 25. We do have a little bit of weather. As you can see, this cloud layer is down to 4,300. All right. Approach, the other part of the descent checklist actually is prop sync off, 10,000 feet. We'll put the auto ignition on. We'll put the auto feather on. We'll go ahead and turn the taxi and landing lights on. And we'll come out of, even though it doesn't change anything, we'll come out of standard barrel. Again, the airport elevation is 39 feet. This is a nice long 5,399 foot runway. We'll probably be looking at an Alpha 2 turn off to the right, taxi back Alpha, and be back in this area somewhere.
November 2537.
Okay, now what's the aircraft?
I wonder if we have
PC-12.
what if we have GSX that would work for. What if GSX works for the King Air? Maybe we'll try it when we get on the ground. Alright, 1,000 to go. Once we level out, we're going to have to add some power to keep our speed up. I think I'm seeing just the outskirts maybe of the Portland International Airport right at our 12 o'clock.
Maintain 3,000.
Descend and maintain 3,000, 252 Juliet Romeo. Alright, we'll keep her going down. And back to vertical speed mode. I think we can probably go just 1,000 feet per minute now. Keep an eyes peeled again on our speed. This is an airplane that's fairly easy to slow down, so we don't have to get real crazy about that. There, I think, is Troutdale. I kind of just saw a little bit of a flash over there. There's Portland International. Yep, you can see the runway lights just blinking in the distance. You can see the distance there is not much. And then there's another one we may be flying over right now.
537 direct to
Hillsboro.
2537.
It's just kind of out.
537, yeah.
You may not see it. It's out here somewhere. Hillsboro. It's another one of those. It's just nice. Just a default airport, but just pretty doggone nice.
Alaska 931
And it's this one. It's this one on the other side of the Andover. No, Vancouver. This is a little tiny private Vancouver strip. So yeah, that's crazy. There's 2, 3, like within a 5-mile radius. Oh boy! Oh, whoa! We want to keep going. Keep going. So another danger of hand entering. We didn't have Portland as one of our waypoints, so we should have switched into heading mode earlier. So sorry about that little bit of a right turn. It was wanting to go straight to Troutdale. All right, we're in the soup. We should be breaking out like I say, about 4,300, so not much longer. Let me just check. Yep, there we go. We're coming out of it right now. 4,800. Yeah, so that was right about where it was at. Yep, see, there's our little altitude marker. That's another nice thing about the this G1000. Comes in handy. I even have a little traffic turned on for you guys. Probably killing my frame rates, but that's not half bad. The ambient lights on some of the buildings, not half bad. And
Here, to Juliet Romeo, you're going to go ahead and stay with me here, and let me know when you have the Toronto airport in sight. It's going to be to your 3 o'clock, 8 miles.
To Juliet Romeo, we have the field. There she blows.
To Juliet Romeo, clear make brake traffic, runway 25, and make your downwind along that north bank there.
Okay, cleared right traffic to runway 25, and we'll make the downwind here on the right bank of the river. I better get turning then. Oh man. Yeah, let's see if I can get there in time.
237 Juliet Alpha, verify you're supposed to be direct Cougas or Cougas.
I'll be a little bit past that, sorry guys. Alright, so I'm going to turn the VOR on, but I'm only going to turn it on so that I can set my, I want to set my runway course here to 25. Spin it all the way around to 25. That way I can...
2537 and...
oh, look at that. I was pretty well on the downwind. So I did overshoot. I was supposed to be on the right side of the bank. I overshot it a little bit. I'm sure that's because it looks like there's another airfield over here. So, yeah, darn it.
Okay, 2537, when you're cleared direct, at that point what you need to do in the G1000, by the way, I'm very familiar with the real world.
No, that doesn't make
just end up indicating direct
too much sense because that put me really tight.
Where you're at, so you end up going direct instead of doing the intercept.
Really tight to the airfield.
Not only is that longer, but it's deviation as well.
So be it.
I was unable to derive a Cougar, so I will now...
For calm conditions,
504 Cougar over 537.
This is a little crazy, but...
537, if you have those kind of limitations, just let us know. We can give you a heading if that ever helps you.
I'm going to go ahead and fly this guy in by hand.
Direct to that waypoint. You look on your PFD and...
Pull the power back slightly. We do need to get down, if we're going to make a visual approach, we better get down to pattern altitude.
252 Juliet Romeo at the Toronto wind calm. 200, 200 feet. If you need to get it, runway 25, you're cleared to land.
Okay, cleared to land, runway 25, King Air 252 Juliet Romeo. Yep, I don't know what this little airport is here, but it...
252 Juliet Romeo, and if you have a go around, expect to fly immediately heading at 290.
Okay, 290 on the go around, 292 Juliet Romeo. Alright, 290 if we have a go around. Yeah, okay.
Right, heading 020, maintain 3000, Alaska 931.
Yeah, look at that. That's a cool little teensy airport. Holy cow. I gotta look that guy up and see what it is. Alright, 290. Let's just set that just in case. That's going to be over in this area here, right? 290. So it'll be like a slight right-hand turn.
2537, yeah, just waiting for a handoff from center, sorry, I just need to verify your direct.
Okay, we are midfield.
And you can go ahead and contact center now, 124.2, connect.
Go back to power. We'll probably get that power, that low power horn again. Sorry about that. Not quite ready for gear just yet. I want to get down to flaps range.
Descending on the crater 2.
We're just about down to pattern altitude.
Delta 1269. For local good evening. Continue descending.
It's
Greater 2, and thanks for
a
getting
little
out.
tough
And
to judge when we are kind of at that 45 because, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of visibility back there, but take it out just a little bit further. The ground's kind of coming up to meet us here, so we can't get too much farther. Alright, we're going to turn base. We're going to try to level it out here, and we're maybe just a hair high as far as pattern altitude goes, but that's okay. Still slowing a little bit. Not going to get too crazy about that just yet.
The Portland altimeter.
This thing is a wide turning small aircraft, I tell you what. We're going to get on the base here, but I guarantee it's only going to be just for a second. Super smooth, though. I love how responsive it is. And, alright, let's look here. Yep, there we go. Alright, so we need to, if we can, oh, don't gain altitude. Just about to flap speed here. And a little high, but that'll be okay. We're not going to quite get to flap speed here until we roll it out, but that's fine too. Alright, here we go. How close can we be on the final?
Potential aircraft, you just payloaded me. Information is now current.
Yeah, we started too soon. Darn it. Okay. We're going to toss a notch of flaps in here, and we will put the gear down. We're close enough now.
I'm sorry, who's on?
Our VREF is 103, I think. 102 or 103. So we're on the glide slope. Now we're actually a little low. Let's hold this altitude. Let's get lined up. I turned a little too early. Now I'm turning a little too late. Yeah, that's typical. There we go. We're back on the glide slope. The lighting, just outstanding. Just outstanding. Speed's looking good.
2,500, Alaska 931.
500.
Second notch of flaps. That's our landing configuration.
Alaska 931.
And taxi lights, landing lights are on. Landing checklist is complete. Got just a little bit high there. Oh, now we're slow. We need to be at 102. Yeah, gotta gain a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna quite get there, but the altitude. We're sort of trading altitude for speed here, so we'll be okay. Takes a minute for those turbines to spin up. It's kind of a delayed reaction. So we're going to just have to live with it and be just slightly high on the approach. Oh, and a little stutter at the end there. Not good timing, but not a deal breaker either. Yeah, pretty soft touchdown. Alright, beta. There we go. There's Alpha 2. I don't remember which one we thought we would get.
Good evening, Alaska 931.
Actually, I think this is,
261.
no, this will be good. I think this is the one we were thinking, so. Alright.
I'm sorry, who's that calling?
Clear of the runway, and how about tonight we hold short of where we're supposed to be? Yeah, nice and soft. Thanks, man.
Sorry, who last called?
A little bit to the right, but I'll take it.
But the 1269.
I will take it. Certainly better than last night. So, you know,
4,500 Delta 12.
traffic coming in, that's pretty cool. And King Air 252 Juliet Romeo, we're on the ground, Troutdale, taxi to gate.
52 Juliet Romeo, you going up the FBO or the South Ramp?
We are going to be FBO.
Okay, 2 Juliet Romeo, taxi by Alpha.
Alpha to the FBO. Have a great night. Thanks to the ATC. Great job. We'll see you next time. All right. Landing lights can come off. We'll leave the taxi lights on.
That's 1216.
So,
turn right.
well, thanks for a fun night, guys. It was a little clunky with the sim crash and all, but it turned out to be very, very fun.
120 3000.
And glad you guys came along, kept me company. And real quickly, just it's going to be kind of busy, honestly, hopefully anyway, on the channel the next few days. Tomorrow night, I was thinking about being up kind of in the ZDC area for Satellite Sunday, but since the fishing trip got pushed back a day, that might not be happening, but it's a possibility. Then, you know, Monday, again, we tend to harass Rob when he flies his lower 48 state thing. So I don't know if I'll be streaming Monday night, but we'll be in the air. Tuesday, Boston Virtual has another regional circuit that I would like to be a part of. And then Friday, of course, Friday night ops, of course, we try to always participate in. It's the end of summer fly-in down in the ZAB airspace. That should be a lot of fun. But the one I'm really looking forward to, guys, is the Dog Days of Summer, which is next Saturday up in Alaska. We're going to be doing some bush flying. We're going to be doing some fun stuff, and so hopefully you'll be able to check in and see what's going on that. I have some things that I am going to try that I've never tried before, and I think it'll be enjoyable to watch. I have no idea where to park here, by the way, so we're just going to pull in right here. So that's what next week is looking like, and I actually am trying to milk every last tiny bit of summer that I possibly can, even though I'm back to work. We don't have students until Wednesday, so that's what I'm trying to do, is just get the last few things, last few fun days in before things get real. So GA, park anywhere.
Fantastic.
Well,
just making sure.
All right, guys.
220 for the 12.
I don't usually do this, but I kind of am curious. Let's just take a quick look at the instant replay, and let's go back. I don't know if 4 minutes is not quite long enough. I'm not very good at this. I need to practice this a little bit more. See what this looks like here. It always seems like it looks worse while you're in the cockpit. Yeah, that was a little bit of a... there was the stutter. That didn't help me any, but... yeah, ended up on the right-hand side just a little bit, but... yeah, it was... no, I ended up getting it back on pretty well. I could live with that. That wasn't too bad. All right, well, hey, I am gonna get it's late, and I need to get myself heading to bed. So again, a great event. Really Want to thank the ATC up here in the Seattle area. Awesome job as always. Downwind, now south. Rob, who did I miss? Anybody else peek in here during the stream? Downwind. I think I already said you once, but hey. Thanks for coming in, guys. Always good to talk to you. Have a great rest of your night. We'll look for you on TCAS tomorrow. And until then, take care and God bless.